We have hyperscale computing. We have vast oceans of capital. We have energy grids capable of powering continents. Yet, as you can see in this infrastructure model, our supply chains, power grids, and climate ecosystems are increasingly short-circuiting and fracturing. The root cause of these cascading failures is an architectural error. The Earth is a highly complex, 10-dimensional living ecology. But look at this diagram. We are actively trying to navigate it by compressing all that living complexity down into a flat, one-dimensional line graph made of closed corporate ledgers. Watch what happens when that static 2D graph slices through a human silhouette. This is a process of ontological capture. To interface with our machines, multidimensional people are forced to fragment their identities into isolated data points: the consumer, the taxpayer, the employee. A panoramic view of a broken, flat map will not fix these systemic failures. To address real-world friction, we have to transition to a multidimensional architecture. Global markets operate under the assumption that physical assets and operations can be completely untethered from their local geography using borderless cyber contracts. In reality, watch how this floating digital network attempts to align with the localized topographical map below it. The connecting lines violently snap. Regardless of borderless corporate ledgers, our physical substrate, the grids, the watersheds, and the biology, remains strictly localized. When we pull back, you can see a massive luminous energy field surrounding that restrictive corporate structure. The true economic mass of our planet sits just outside the corporate firewall, residing in unpriced human and natural capital. To solve planetary crises, we have to strip away the illusion of borderless ledgers and acknowledge the localized physical reality that underpins all global operations. Zyro Hive is the first facility designed for multi-dimensional discovery. This organic structure, integrated into the landscape, serves as the physical site where human cohorts weave together their fractured maps of our grids, laws, and social behaviors. Inside the hive, we execute a specific sequence to map real-world operations, beginning at step 10, the social helix. Here, the localized human swarm replaces the statistical consumer, providing the active biological intent that drives the system. We ground that intent at step 7, the physical substrate. Every action must tie back to our 7-layer localized infrastructure, anchoring the system to microgrids, supply chains, and watersheds. At step 5, we execute cyber decoupling. Notice how this monolithic digital cube fractures into thin, glowing bands. This explicitly demotes technology to an intelligence augmentation exoskeleton, a one-dimensional tool that wraps around the human host. Rather than attempting to dismantle global tech giants, we extract their siloed operational intelligence and strap it to ourselves purely as a routing utility. Moving to step 4, the sovereign helix, regulators utilize policy as code to safely pull that 1D cyber capability down, anchoring it within sovereign legal boundaries. At step 1, systems time, the social, physical, cyber, and sovereign pillars fuse into a single execution. A barrier forms, locking data locally. The node flashes, minting a zero-knowledge proof, and instantly destroys the surrounding sensitive data. By keeping computation at the edge and permanently discarding raw data, the system reverses digital extraction, protecting the privacy of the living host. Our systemic obstacles are fundamentally temporal. We are witnessing a collision of 90-day financial cycles, multi-year regulatory cues, and ecological recoveries that take decades. We call these conflicting timelines entangled temporal floats. The hive untangles these floats by acting as a clearinghouse, decoupling physical assets from the delays caused by asynchronous decay. When this thermodynamic friction is mapped and resolved, the trapped mass is unlocked and quantified as active reserve capital, operating at zero-latency systems time. This untangling triggers autopoiesis, a self-sustaining cycle. Through a 4-step metabolic recursion of clearing, routing, and reseeding, the system pumps this capital back into unmapped edges, allowing it to sustain itself without manual friction. Because the machine now absorbs the one-dimensional burdens of routing and compliance, human intelligence is no longer occupied by the mechanics of survival. Watch this human form move into the environment of light. This is the transition to phase 3. cognitive bandwidth is freed from the scarcity trap, allowing the multidimensional mind to look outward. This marks the end of machine-driven ontological capture. We are moving beyond the era of biological limitation and into a phase of intelligence augmentation. We are now able to orchestrate the limitless combinatorial assembly of global capabilities, weaving together technology, law, and physical capacity in real time. Through this assembly, we reach Phase 4. We move from simple logistics to absolute planetary symbiosis, collaborating with the Earth's biological substrate to regenerate watersheds, and pushing beyond our planet to navigate and evolve the living universe.